79 180 180 is the number. It's the first week of February. This is the time of the year where the National Football League is usually kicking off, and you're making your annual schlep up to Clonus or Ballywafay or wherever it is, or Mayo if you're allowed back in after that incident the last time. But we've got a very different kind of league for you this morning, Owen. Instead of that,
we've got a World Cup, no less. We're bringing it at you this morning because we've been sitting at home watching football for what has seemed to have been just forever at this point. It's all we do now is watch football and watch people talk about football on television. And hopefully that's what people have been doing by turning on OTB AM this morning. Listen to us talk about football. So, who is actually the best pundit on television? We're going to sort this out in World Cup format this morning. These are your Sky Sports pundits, your BT Sports pundits, and your Premier Sports pundits, people who give contributions on television. That's what I've limited to. And to all the 32 people who've made it this morning, congratulations. There was a longer list than this. I had about 50-something names. So if you've made it this morning, well done. You will get a certificate or something, and we'll get it out to you in the post. Without further ado, let's go into the groups this morning. There are some crackers, sure. Group A, in particular, is a group of death. We've got Jamie Carragher. We've got Rio Ferdinand. We have got Kenny Cunningham, and we've got Tim Sherwood. Who are you calling?
Well, not Tim Sherwood. Definitely not.
Not Tim Sherwood. So if Tim Sherwood doesn't finish bottom of the group, that'll be a bit of an upset. Can Kenny upset Jamie Carragher or Rio Ferdinand? I'm making Jamie Carragher the outright favourite for this. I think
the
he's
whole
the best
thing.
pundit. I think he's the best pundit on television at the moment. Himself and Roy Keane on Saturday night, absolutely outstanding. I should say that there was a committee assembled, a committee of one, to actually seed these things. So there should be a nice amount of fairness in each group.
Gary Neville's the favourite, right? Really?
I think we could see a Manchester United versus Liverpool outbreak on Twitter here to actually back their boy and see who wins. This is going to be on the Off the Ball AM Twitter account, by the way, all these Twitter polls today for the group stages. That is at Off the Ball AM. Group B is Roy Keane, Glenn Johnson, Damien Delaney and Robbie Savage. The Cork derby there in Group B. Group C is your favourite, Gary Neville, Owen Hargreaves, Kevin Doyle and Paul Scholes. I am backing Kevin Doyle to get out of that group if enough Irish people actually vote in this poll and this doesn't actually make its way over to the English Channel, which, let's face it, is probably likely. Group D is Graham Souness, the raging hot favourite here again. Joe Cole, Alex Scott and Martin Keown. Hard to call that one, but Souness I'd probably see going through. Group E is Chris Sutton, Peter Crouch, Karen Carney and Danny Murphy. Group F then is Alan Shearer, Eni Aluko, Jamie Redknapp and Steve McManaman. Group G, I think this could be the man who wins it. Micah Richards was the top seed here in this group, alongside Tim Cahill, Patrice Evra, and Michael Owen.
That's kind of slightly imbalanced there, isn't it, really?
Why so?
Well, Tim Cahill's reputation after the Arsenal are getting it wrong, but at least they know how they're getting it wrong, whereas Man United haven't got a clue. That has come and bit him in the ass, hasn't it?
Well, he also does match of the day punditry, let's not forget. Let's not just judge him on his one Sky Sports outing, which he seems to have not been invited back after. Like his BBC contributions are always very good as well.
Right.
Patrice Evra is everybody loves Patrice Evra, and everybody loves Mike Richards.
Patrice Evra licked the chicken, the raw chicken breasts. Can't.
Oh yeah.
Can't.
Good point.
I can't have it. I can't have it. There was too much. It was too much Patrice. It was just a bit too much. Now, like, his book is in the works, and by all accounts, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to that. And actually, you know, you never turn him off. But that video of him licking the chicken, no thanks.
The question in Group G really is going to be: is voluntary salmonella better than Michael Owen's punditry? That is what this group is going to determine, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually turns out. Group H is Ian Wright, Glenn Hoddle, Jermaine Genius, and Dion Dublin. So a heavy BBC tint to Group H, which is our eighth and final group. Sorry to the likes of Clinton Morrison and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Robbie Fowler and Robin Van Persie and Rob Green, who just didn't get the call and aren't included in the 32. They were like Netherlands in Euro 2016 didn't actually make it to the end. So there are your groups. We will get polls up shortly on @OffTheBallAM on Twitter. We will probably transfer to Instagram over the next couple of days as we get into the knockout stages. But it is very exciting. It is the big story this week. Who is actually the best live television Premier League pundit in the world? We've sure as hell watched enough of them over the last couple of months.
What do you think people actually want when they're watching punditry on TV?
They want controversy, and they want Roy Keane, and they want a soundbite, and they want a fight. They want to see a fight in the studio on television. That is what people want more than anything else.
Certainly, that was the recipe that made Eamon Dunphy the most highly sought after commentator in Irish life. There was a time when Dunphy would have been earning $1 million a year probably from his various columns and TV appearances and everything, and his radio show, like Peak of the Boom. You know, that's astonishing. Now, close enough to $1 million a year, I'd say. And that the reason was because he was good for a fight all the time. People want fights, right? But did Gary Neville not change all that whenever Monday Night Football became his purview, or is that purely for the football hipsters?
Oh no, not for the football hipsters. I think that obviously is what people want as well. If they can be informed and entertained, they will take both. But I think entertainment probably comes ahead of information quite a lot. 100% that has changed, and I think what they did with Monday Night Football obviously was brilliant. And I think surely it's not just the preserve of football hipsters at the moment that they want to actually learn more about the game that they're watching. I'm sure like any analytics people out there are probably seeing their followings grow over the last couple of years. I think people are more interested in statistics. I think people realize that this is how people who are involved in football actually view the game, and as a result the punditry should follow suit. It's what a lot of American sports has done. You can't watch an NFL game without being impressed by the level of analysis that they bring second by second, and I think the Premier League has followed suit. So yes, that is the home of it. But if you actually manage to deliver that in a way, or manage to create some sort of argument as a result of your analytical insight, then that is the secret sauce. And Gary Neville does bring that. I mean, like, he does say stuff that sometimes riles up opposition fans, for example. Jamie Carragher does the same thing while also being a brilliant analyst. And that for me is why they're probably two of the best pundits on Sky. But they just don't have the fire that Roy Keane brings. And I think the old school Eamon Dunphy-esque entertainment will never be beaten, no matter how many brilliant tactics boards you actually manage to show to the audience.
Yeah, because so is there a hybrid? Is it and is that what Sky have with Carragher versus Keane? With Keane, you can't look away because you don't know what he's going to say, but you know with Carragher you're going to get some education. Is that the perfect combo? Is that why you think that's the perfect combo?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good shout. I think that you almost have Jamie, like, so Saturday night, you almost have Jamie Carragher with a half smile on his face, knowing that Roy Keane is going to say something, and he is trying to cling to his own beliefs as a pundit to not get into a barroom brawl against Roy Keane here on television. Not that it ever got heated or anything on Saturday night. And then similarly, you have Roy Keane, who can't but be impressed with what Jamie Carragher is doing and wants to cling to his old school notions of what football punditry should be, and what he's actually bringing to the table. So there is a reluctant admiration, I think, from both of them towards one another, and the product is just really good. Like, I'm not sure if people agree with that, but I definitely think Saturday night, when or any time that they have Carragher and Keane on together, it is the best punditry combo we have in television.
There's a piece in the back of the Telegraph sports section today actually talking about this, and he is saying, with Roy Keane, Graham Souness and Patrice Evra, the punditry trend is towards spicy, fiery concoctions, tasty and rich for sure, but do you necessarily want a vindaloo every meal? A very Telegraph phraseology there. Keane in particular feels like he might be only one more scenery-chomping glower away from getting tapped up by WWE on a contract as a dastardly heel. He's saying BT Sport is what you want. The comparison is BT Sport is ambient versus heavy metal of Sky.
Robbie Savage ambient? Is that what
he means? Okay, he hasn't actually mentioned Robbie Savage, I think, throughout this. He's talking about Rio Ferdinand. It doesn't have that tinderbox feel that Sky has cooked up. If we want constant debate and point scoring, many of us can get that at home. Hey, there you go. Oh God. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd go and describe BT as ambient. It is good coverage. I do like BT's coverage, but I think it all depends on the pundit that you have. Like, I mean, I think that a lot of the ire towards BT is often directed at whoever their co-commentator is, and Steve McManaman is probably the recipient of it more than anybody else this season. Like in studio, yeah, it tends to always be Rio. Like quite often, it may be a lot last season. They had Robin van Persie being beamed in from abroad and all that. Like there's a nice difference to it, I guess. And when they have good stuff to work with, it's great. But I think Sky are probably pulling away on the evidence of the last season.
And if we did this in GAA punditry, who would win that World Cup?
Oh, well, see, this is a whole different. Tomas O'Shea would win it. Sorry, I was trying to filibuster for a second to gather my thoughts. It didn't even need to think for that long. Tomas O'Shea is the best pundit in GAA.
Who would he beat in the
on
final?
television? Oh, and then you've also got if you talk about Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher as a combo, the best combo we have on GA at the moment is Jim McGuinness and Kieran Donaghy on Sky, which is just. I'm not saying that Kieran Donaghy is the Roy Keane of GA and Jim McGuinness is Jamie Carragher of GA. Jim McGuinness is very analytical, and Donaghy wouldn't be as big-mouthed as Roy Keane. So I don't know. There's a nice sort of analysis element to both of it. I think it's almost like two Jamie Carragers sitting together in the GA stand.
Yeah, the Brodie is Roy Keane.
Brodie is Roy Keane. Brodie is Dunphy. Really, I think that's probably more of an accurate comparison, to be honest. And yeah, like it's a shame that we had a full championship without Joe Brodie in his pomp and television. The first one, let's not forget. Obviously, we had a lot of it in the league earlier in 2020, but we obviously had to rely on his Sunday Independent contributions, which you would kind of miss. Like you would miss the sort of what is Brodie going to say after something crazy would have happened. Like you would have loved to have had Brodie on after Kerry got beaten by Cork, for example, or after Donegal got beaten by Cavan. A shock results. The fans of a team who get beaten in such unexpected fashion tend to watch between their fingers as Joe Brodie comes out and says something. So we definitely did miss that. Okay,
let's move on because everybody can vote on the @OffTheBall AM Twitter handle. Some of you are already subscribed to that and some of you aren't, but you should get on it.